I call the member for Orange.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The sudden closure of the Great Western Highway at Victoria Pass has once again exposed the fundamental truth that regional communities have been raising for years. The transport corridor linking Sydney to Western New South Wales is fragile, unreliable and no longer fit for purpose. This is not simply a roadworks issue or a temporary inconvenience. It is a structural weakness in one of the most important freight and passenger corridors, not only in our state, but on the eastern seaboard. For too long, this section of the route has been the Achilles heel in connectivity between Sydney and the communities west of the Great Dividing Range. In 2007, Nationals MLC Duncan Gay promised to deliver a Bells Line expressway, describing it as an overdue nation-building infrastructure critical to the Central West economic growth. Yet when the Nationals formed government and Mr Gay became Roads Minister, that promise was never fulfilled. The only progress came in 2018 when then Transport Minister Melinda Pavey announced the identification of the Castlereagh corridor linking the M7 to Kurrajong as the first step towards the Bells Line proposal. Since then, there's been no meaningful advancement which has occurred. In May 2022, the New South Wales government's proposed an 11-kilometre tunnel from Blackheath to Little Hartley. However, prior to the 2023 election, Labor deferred the project due to the absence of a business case and funding, and a subsequent federal review saw the withdrawal of $2 billion in support, effectively ending the proposal. Since then, the focus has shifted to maintenance on the existing highway, but now the consequences of that approach are clear. For much of regional New South Wales, particularly the Central West, the Great Western Highway is the only major road connection to Sydney. When something goes wrong in the mountains, the entire system grinds to a halt. Freight is delayed, visitors cancel trips, businesses lose customers, and families struggle to access essential services. This corridor carries freight, tourists, agricultural goods, mining equipment, and patients travelling for critical healthcare. The scale of the dependence is significant. In 2025, the average daily traffic on the highway exceeded 12,000 vehicles per day, including more than 2,500 heavy vehicles. Every closure forces these trucks onto lengthy detours, increasing fuel costs, delivery times, and pressure on drivers, whilst disrupting supply chains across the state. Much of this traffic is diverted onto the Bells Line of Road, a scenic route never designed to handle such volumes of heavy freight. As a result, an already strained regional road network is being pushed beyond its limits. Regional businesses are paying the price. Over the past 5 years, repeated disruptions along this corridor have cost billions in lost productivity. Tourism operators are also feeling the impact. A recent visitor economy pulse survey conducted by Destination Central West New South Wales revealed that 56% of businesses are already affected by the closure. More than half reported reduced weekend visitation, while 45% have experienced either cancellations and/or declining forward bookings. Notably, 63% of businesses say visitors are contacting them directly with concerns about travel access, and 94% expect moderate to significant impacts if the closure continues. Transport for New South Wales has advised that the closure could remain in place for at least 3 months while stabilisation works are undertaken. And while alternative routes remain open and the Central West continues to welcome visitors, we must be clear about what the situation represents. This is not just a temporary disruption, it's a warning. Without long-term planning and visionary thinking, this corridor risks becoming one of the most significant freight bottlenecks in Australia. This was a major consideration of mine which prompted my now almost decade-long campaign lobbying the New South Wales Government to provide a dedicated daily return passenger rail service between Orange and Sydney. Sadly, my concerns which justify a dedicated rail service have now been realised. Mr Speaker, for decades infrastructure investment has been concentrated in metropolitan Sydney, with major motorway tunnels and urban expansions designed to keep the city moving. Meanwhile, the critical links connecting regional New South Wales to the capital have been left with ageing infrastructure and growing demand. Regional communities contribute enormously to the state's prosperity. Agricultural, mining, manufacturing and tourism in the Central West generates billions of dollars annually. Yet despite this contribution, remain dependent on a single vulnerable corridor across the mountains. Regional New South Wales does not expect special treatment, but it does expect fair investment in infrastructure that keeps communities and the economy moving. That means more than simply repairing landslips or reopening roads as quickly as possible, important as that work is. These are just short-term fixes. What is needed is a long-term commitment to building a stronger, safer, more resilient and more reliable transport linkages across the mountains. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank the member.